A very warm welcome back to my channel. This is Karen Saunders, and we discuss all things Jehovah's Witnesses. Well, tonight I have a guest on the Escape from the Tower series. His name is John, and he's from Latvia. John is here to tell us his Escape from the Tower story, and this one's a really interesting one because John has only just recently, I think it was either this week, beginning of this week, or last week, he was actually disfellowshipped from his local congregation. So I would just like to introduce John now and say hello to him. Okay, hey John, how are you going?
Yes, hi. Good, yes. How about you?
Oh, I'm good, thanks. I'm just getting over the flu, so sorry about my croaky voice. But yeah,
It's
I'm
okay.
on the mend now. But it's really nice to have you on the channel, John, because I know that you've had a bit of a um, let's say a bit of a full-on last couple of weeks. I can only imagine. And so, what's been happening for you? What is your story with Jehovah's Witnesses? Very briefly, because I know you don't want to concentrate too much on the organization, but you want to try and promote positivity and try and help other Jehovah's Witnesses. But just give us a little bit of your background and how you're connected with Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, so I was 3 years old when my parents started to study with Jehovah's Witnesses. And right now, with this kind of understanding, I cannot say that they studied Bible because they weren't. They were studying publications. But yes, they were. I was 3 years old when they started to study. And they got baptized when I was 5 years old. So nearly all my life I have been in this organization. And when I was a kid already in the school, I was already always saying that, okay, I am one of Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't celebrate birthdays. I don't celebrate Christmas. And I got beat up heavily. And also I had some yes problems with teachers about because I was in this religion and I was way different than other kids were at that time. And plus, of course, I was the shortest, and I was the only one who wear glasses. So yes, it had bunch of reasons uh, why to like separate me from others. And then yes, I was different, so I was not accepted in the school years. Afterwards, I became an unbaptized publisher when I was 8 years old in 1996, and then in 2004, 31st of July, I was baptized when I at the age of 16. So yeah, I was baptized, and I was a witness for 20 years. I could say like that. And yes, Karen, you were right. I have just came out. Um, I actually was disfellowshipped on 3rd of September this year. So it is 2 weeks ago now. And been feeling very great for it.
Very, very good. So um, that's a nice note to finish on because a lot of people who leave the organization um, are in a quandary. They find themselves at a loss. Happiness, I wouldn't say, is the immediate feeling, but more so, especially when they've been raised as a Jehovah's Witness, they do not know what to do next because, as you can appreciate, I mean, I know your mum, Dace, she supports you, but for a lot of people, they have nobody. There's no support. They've lost all their friends, all their family, and they are totally on their own. But it's nice to hear that you are feeling good, even though it's been so very recent, your excommunication. I mean, they're pretty brutal, aren't they, Jehovah's Witnesses? you know, when it comes to excommunicating, they're horrendous, aren't they? You know.
Yes, yes, it is really so. And of course, my waking up didn't happen in one evening, so I can say for that, for sure. I was starting to wake up 6 years ago already. But yeah, it is like something what I could tell you, of course, quite quite interesting story I have this about this how I woke up. But yeah, this is
No, it'd be nice to hear because I mean, you know, the Escape from the Tower series, this gives people like yourself an opportunity to actually talk about how you woke up, what triggered you, what moved you to start thinking, because your experience, as well as everybody else that's been on here, has been completely different. But yet, there's witnesses that email me, active witnesses that email me privately, that watch the channel. So don't leave any stone unturned unless you feel uncomfortable, John. Please, you know, please tell everybody, you know, what made
yes,
you wake
yes,
up.
yes. So actually, yes, as I told you, I was really in. I was believing with all my heart that it is the truth, as we used to call it. And yeah, in 2011, I was even a pioneer and a part-time Bethelite. So yeah, I was doing that, and in 2012 I got married within the religion and with one sister. And actually, my sort of bad experience with marriage, it started to wake me up because um, my wife, though she was in the beginning, she was pioneer and she had been also working in construction work as well. It is construction work for Jehovah's Witness. It is like they are uh, participating in construction work, building their kingdom halls or renovating their branch offices. Of course, nobody gets paid. just, just as it now turned out, it is like just another construction firm, but it is unfortunately so, as I have understood. But yeah, so basically, what I can tell that yeah, so my ex-wife, she left me in 2018, and it was August 2018, and then I started to slowly waking up. Uh, First, if we remember the verse from Second Timothy, may I read the scripture?
Yes, absolutely. Go
All
for
right,
it.
so I will read it from New World Translation. So, Second Timothy, um, chapter 3, from 1 to 5. But know this, that in the last days, critical times, hard to deal with, will be here. For men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, haughty, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, disloyal, having no natural affection, not open to any agreement, slanderers, without self control, fierce, without love of goodness, betrayers, headstrong, puffed up with pride, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having an appearance of godliness, but proving false to its power, and from these turn away. So, as we can see, as witnesses, we were taught that these kind of people are in the world, but it turned out also it is in the congregations. But of course, nobody says this because everything is so good and everybody is so happy. Especially if you're going to assemblies and hearing those interviews, everybody's pioneering, special pioneering, and they are so happy. so joyful, but in real life, it is just disaster. And of course, nobody's saying that because now I know also many pioneers who has depression and other psychical condition stuff. But yeah, so as I mentioned, 2018, my wife went away, and we had also a child. We had a child. She was born. Our daughter was born in 2013, and she was born with uh, very. She had her heart condition was very. She was sick with heart disease. One and we had two operations, and in the second operation she nearly died. And of course we went to Poland. We didn't even operate here in Latvia because they immediately offered that we can have only through blood transfusion. So as witnesses, we went to uh, that kind of operation where there is no blood transfusion whatsoever. And then, yeah, uh, after second operation, she when she was 2 years old, it was in 2015, 2016. Um, she suddenly turned from the 2 years old child in her um, development. She turned as a two weeks old baby. She couldn't hold her head. She couldn't eat or by herself. She couldn't do anything. And yet, still now on, like now, she's around 11 years old and she can only speak 40 to 50 words.
Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah, and unfortunately it is so. And that condition my ex-wife used against me when I wanted to have proper, like how it is this word that you are not like, it is not like we both take care of this child. How it is called in English, I don't remember
Oh,
exactly.
like dual custody.
Yes, dual custody. Yes.
Right.
So dual custody, and with that, yes, we had this agreement when we were divorcing, but of course she never obeyed it, and that led to me going to the lawyer and filing for a civil court against her, which she replied on a criminal court, making false accusations with her mother, who is also a witness, making false accusations about myself, what I have been doing wrong. So I haven't seen my daughter for 5 years now,
Oh my goodness.
and this also started to wake me more and more up. I thought that how it can be, and I remember that I was even going. We are living on the same land here. We have a house, and our family has three apartments. Like in this house, like it is all our house, and in one, it is divided in three apartments. So one section is my apartment, another section is my parents' apartment, and then the third section is my brother's and his family apartment. And with them, yeah, I. I remember at that time I went down to my parents' section and I was saying that it cannot be the truth because I never, in fact, it was since 2008 when I could ever hardly see something like love among witnesses. Like like Jesus used to say about that everybody should know who is his disciple if we will have love among each other, not if we are pioneering, not if we are special pioneers, not if we have Bible studies, but love among each other. That should separate his true followers. And here I never saw it, and even when this case was built up against me, I was speaking with my lawyer, and he is also a Jehovah's Witness. He is also a lawyer for them here in Latvia. So I was speaking. I was speaking to him, and he said that at first he said to me that when this whole case is over, he will give green light to elders in my ex-mother-in-law's congregation, that they will be disfellowshipping her. But after he changed his mind and said that she will not be disfellowshipped. So how come? Then I thought that, okay. Then I remember even saying to my parents that actually you can, as a witness, you can kill anybody and you will be not judged, because come on, you have good reputation in elders' eyes, not in God's eyes, but in elders' eyes. So yeah, that woke me up also. And also in 2019, my best friend, he dug up of many those Australian Royal Commission courts and everything what you had back there in Australia, and
Oh yeah,
he sent
yeah.
those videos. Yeah, and he sent those videos, and I remember I was a little bit watching, and I remember myself by hearing Jackson saying that it would be infallible to say that they are only true God's organization, and only spokes channel through man and God, and then I remember that I was watching it and I was saying to him, leave everything on Jehovah. Leave everything on Jehovah, and just if they are wrong, they will be destroyed. And so he stopped contacting with me because he saw that it is false, and I continued. But what's really started to wake me up after was that my brother, he went away in 2022. Of course, COVID happened, and um, some signs were also with this vaccination process within the organization that back, even if we remember um, publications, I will refer them. Yes, those publications said that back in 2013, 2014, if somebody comes to a hall and starts to like advertising some sort of way natural product or something else, we shouldn't speak about these kind of things in the hall. And now
Right. Mm.
they said that themselves. And now in 2021, they were forcing everyone through these broadcasting updates to get vaccinated. So they are
Absolutely.
speaking against themselves.
Oh, look, I'm just listening to you. They're a bunch of hypocrites, John. I mean, I remember in the Kingdom Hall, you were not allowed to. There was this. I knew this sister. Well, she's not in anymore. She was a herbalist, right? So people would say, "Oh, what's good for this? What's good for that?" And the amount of times she got counsel for saying, "Oh, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that?" I'm not saying it's going to work. She didn't give them any, medical advice, but just said, "Try this, try that." She was absolutely hauled over the coals for that. And like you said, now, they were pushing, the jab, and we know why, because they've got 300,000 shares in Pfizer. So that's why they were pushing it. And so
Yeah,
they're just a bunch of hypocrites, and I mean, I'm just listening to you, and I can almost see you, having these markers of waking up and then connecting the dots, oh right, haha, that, oh haha, that, and I mean, you can only come to one conclusion, when you have that amount of evidence, and the way that the hypocrisy makes you think, once I was saying to somebody the other week, once you see what you see, you cannot unsee it, can you, John? You cannot unsee the hypocrisy.
No,
Once you see it,
no,
you can't make any excuses for it.
it is so. It is really so. And yes, like everything that just lined up, that started to line up, that like these, like uh, they are speaking about one thing in the meetings on a platform, but anything else on a stage, but everything else, it is fake, just fake. Because
Yeah,
like um, brothers used to say to me that, okay, well, the most important thing, because of Discord, of course, I wasn't able to do anything in the congregation, though I really wanted, and because I thought that by doing that I will serve to Jehovah. As it turned out that it is not. But yeah, at one point, yes, I was nearly a ministerial servant, but otherwise, no. And then I really started to see that this hypocrisy what they have there, because like when I was speaking with elders, and they said that, okay, main thing for you is that you are serving to Jehovah, that you are coming to meetings, going field service, etc. But then from the stage, they gave these talks that how important for us is to set the goals by becoming the auxiliary pioneer, by becoming a pioneer. And I thought, what? What the BS it is? Because it is impossible that that come on. How would they say to me like
no,
that?
it's
But
true. It's true.
yes, it's very good to be pioneer. Yes.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
also uh, it also helped me to woke up with this process. And I remember I can show you two things now. The first thing I will show you, it is that uh, on last summer 2023, this is my assembly card for 2023 assembly, summer assembly. I was still believing that it is the truth. On this assembly, this 2024 that we had, I was just there and laughing my face off that I didn't believe it. So, and
How did you manage to stomach it? That's the question I'd like to ask you. How were you able to, you were laughing in your head, but I tell you, I would have been looking for my vomit bucket. You seriously, I don't think I could stomach 5 minutes of an assembly. Never mind, going there. So were you PMO at the time? Were you PMO?
yes, yes,
Okay, yeah,
I think I well, I can say for that in 2023 I went to the background with me. It is that also that I grew up between two countries, Latvia and Finland, because we had very good friends there. And I went for vacation to Finland in 2023 autumn, and there I knew already that not only my brother he has left, but also my parents had already started to wake up, and they started to speak some things what are against what organization really teaches. And I thought that, oh, again another some kind of sort of trial from Satan, as we were taught. And I thought, okay, I will go down to Finland to relax, to have my vacation. So I went, and then um, after it, uh, I came back, and I heard that my mom, Days, she was speaking with her former Bible study, as witness would call, a Bible study. Yes, she was speaking with her, and this Bible study had become witness, and she baptized, but she also now has left, and she was speaking to her, and this Bible study was saying through the phone that okay, that um, she doesn't feel good by attending meetings because they don't teach about Christ there, anything. They are just governing body, faithful and discreet slave, governing body, faithful, discreet slave, and so on. And I thought that um, I heard that my mom was saying, well, if you don't feel good, then don't go there. And I thought that how she can say like that. And then I remember myself that I heard this conversation, and then I went upstairs, and I really prayed to Jehovah at that time, and with tears in my eyes, and I was saying to him that Jehovah, please help me to understand what is your will, what you want me to do. So help me to put anything what man has taught, like what my mom or dad says now, and also what publications say. Just put it behind and read just your word, Bible, and that he helps me to open my mind down. And I started to read and study Bible, and I understood that really as further I read, I started to understand that this Bible is going on one direction, Watchtower is going in opposite direction. And I remember, do you remember this brown songbook what we had, what we used to
Yeah,
have?
yes. That
So
that
this,
was that was the book. That was the first songbook when I first came in 1987, 88. That was the songbook they were using, and then it went to a light brown not long after that. And of course, they just keep changing them all the time. Um, but I just wanted to ask you something, John,
yes,
because um, I know that, I mean, just listening to you, you've been through so much, in your short life, and you're out of the organization. The What I want to ask you, because you did mention it when we were corresponding via email, that you wanted to try and help other people to wake up. And of course, that's easier said than done, you
yeah,
know. I know, thankfully, you are now our brother in Christ, which is amazing. Um, that's fantastic because a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses, they leave and they don't they don't build a relationship up with the Christ. They just go off and they become atheist, agnostic, or whatever.
yes,
how how do you think you could, what can you say here on tonight's interview? What have you got to say to people that might be in a similar situation to what you were before you left? Because I do get active Jehovah's Witnesses watching, and they do comment privately to me. um I've got one man actually who watches. Unfortunately, he's PMO, but he's just been appointed as a ministerial servant. And I said, why did you do that? And it's because his wife is heavily involved and the family's involved, and he doesn't want to lose face. But he said, I want to be where you are, out. But I mean, he's not really going the right way about it by becoming an appointed man. But people like that listen in. What would you say, John, to encourage others?
yes. As witnesses, let's switch back this witness thinking. I can let's try to switch on this back. Like let's say that as witnesses we were taught that we are the only true Christians. And what does it mean? True Christians. It is mean that true followers of Christ. So how come, if we are true followers of Christ, we are not speaking about Christ? And as I mentioned this songbook, I just wanted to mention one song. Just wanted to show 100 song number 168. It was about uh, recognizing the new earthly king. It was sung about Jesus, and here it was said that kiss the son's feet, so that God would not destroy you. And interesting, this song, as you mentioned this before, that in 2007, I think, started those yellow songbooks, and this song was not already in 2007 year songbook, and and even it is not even way more. It is less than now in these great new songbooks, and it was so shocking to me that all those songs about Christ has been taken out, and it is more put it with this faithful and discreet slave about anointed ones. But should we praise merely men, or should we praise God's Son? Because as I read in the Bible, John 5:22, again I will read from New World Concession. Here says, John 5:22, it says, "For the Father judges no one at all, but he has entrusted all the judging to the Son." And verse 23, "So that all may honor the Son, just as they honor the Father." So it doesn't mean that we should pray to Jesus. No, it doesn't. But it does mean that we should honor him. So we should speak about him. We should speak about his example, what he's shown to us. But now, as we go to the meetings in Kingdom Halls, we can more and more hear about just faithful and discreet slave or apostasy. That nothing else. Nothing else. Faithful and
Mm,
discreet slave, apostasy,
mm,
nothing else.
yeah.
And it was shocking to me. And of course, uh, I as I mentioned before that there were steps all the time when I slowly by slowly was wakening up. But I think the final part became when I really, like, a sheet, when it drops down, it drops down. So when I had this sheet who dropped down, it happened on 15th of March this year, when Sanderson came out with his announcement about beards, slacks for sisters, and that we can speak with disfellowshipped people. I thought, really? Thank you.
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
we are fully grown men. Can you
I
imagine?
know.
We are fully
I
grown
know.
men and women. And somebody should say, okay, you can wear slacks and you can wear a beard. And now everyone is going into the with beards. I thought,
Yeah. But
what a nonsense.
that's the amount of control that they have
Yes.
over everybody, that they actually do everybody's thinking for them. And it's not until you wake up and you come out of this organization and you've got your critical thinking mind that you can see how duped everybody is. It's almost hypnotic. They're under this hypnosis. And I always say that, my critical thinking was in a coma. It was comatose for 35 years, didn't have any free thinking at all. And of course,
Yeah.
if you do have critical thinking, it's very quickly dismissed and you're back on the hamster wheel again. But, you know, um, thank you for sharing that. So I just want to, yeah, if we can go back to the question that I asked you about, what would you like to say to encourage people that are PMO, people that are just starting, to connect the dots starting to question things, that because all doesn't seem as it should in the Watchtower. What have you got to say? What kind of advice can you give people?
Well, as I was saying before, that uh, when I started to wake up, I said prayer to Jehovah, and I said that I was asking him precisely that he helps me to put any man-based teaching beside, and that just look what is said in the scriptures. So I would advise also to everyone just to look what is said in the scriptures, not base your faith what is said in the Watchtower or publications, but based on what is said in the scriptures. Follow Jesus' example, not what merely man says. No, because merely men can be mistaken. And they have admitted themselves in January's broadcasting this year. But they are merely men. They are imperfect, merely men, and that's all, nothing else. And like we are as witnesses, we are saying that okay, we Catholics are wrong because they are just trusting Pope. But come on, we are trusting 9 popes. And we are trusting
Well,
9 popes.
no, actually, they claim to be the 9 future kings, don't they? The nine
Yes,
future
yes, 9
kings.
future kings.
Yeah,
Yes,
the 9 future kings are sat around the table now, probably, wondering what their next move is going to be, because hey, they've just lost in New Zealand. They lost
yeah,
out. Yeah, so that's another one down. It's like dominoes now. It's one after the other. So they're going to have to. They've had to pay. I think it was $48,000 in so far in fees and court costs and things. But see, they won't go quietly, will they? They won't just put their hand up and say, you know what, we're out of order. We've got a lot to work on. We want people to look at us and see that we're transparent. They're not. They're nothing. They're not transparent. They're evil, wicked
yeah.
men that know what they're doing. They know that they're lying, and you know that's why I do these videos, John, because they need exposing. And
And
the XJW community, it's growing all the time.
yeah, I totally understand that. And I can say for all witnesses that actually you donate your money in Kingdom
Oh,
Photos and donation boxes. So actually,
yeah,
your money will go into these $48,000. Your
yeah,
money.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I can't even count how I've literally personally, just me, not me and my husband, but I've given thousands of dollars to this organization, thinking it was going to a good cause. And and now you find out, like you say, where is it really going? They're paying for all these lawsuits. But
yeah,
these courts rulings, they're not going away. They're just gathering momentum all the time. So the writing's on the wall for the Watchtower. The days are numbered. And won't it be a beautiful day, when we see the tower actually fall to the ground, because that's where it belongs. And give people a chance that are still in, to come out, and like you and I, John, have come to the Christ, born again. There's so many people in there that need to come to Jesus Christ, because time's running out. It's not going to
yeah.
stand still and wait, for people to change. So I just want to say to you, it's been an absolute pleasure uh, talking to you. And I know your mum, Dace. She's a lovely, lovely lady. Please give her my love.
For
Um,
sure, we'll do that.
yeah. So, like everybody, when I wrap the interview up, I always finish by asking all of my guests a question. And this is the question. So, John, I'm asking you, or you tell me, if you were saying to me, Karen, I escaped from the tower because, what would your response be?
Well, because they don't recognize Jesus as he should be recognized. One thing, and I really realized the second thing that what I really realized it is that when I started when I was totally waking up already, as I mentioned before, in 15th of March, I still continued to go to the meetings there because for friends. But my parents already were not going to the meetings, and everybody just was saying to me, "Okay, you should leave uh, this wolf cage," they were calling. "So you should leave this wolf cage." And I said, "Hey, are you offering me a job, or can you offer me place to live, because in the city it is very expensive to live. So we live in suburbs." And then I said, okay, no, I will not leave. And then uh, I really I was as I mentioned before, that in this summer I was in this assembly just for company, just for, because I thought that I have friends there. But when what really how I decided to leave it, because couldn't shake that I had this last conversation with elders on 6th of August. My dad went out when he was announced on 6th of August, and then I that he is no longer JW, and then I remember that I had this conversation with them, and every word, every verse, what I put it for them, I said, okay, if I'm mistaken, please do correct me. I will admit my mistake, but based on the Bible, they put they put it against. Oh, but wait a minute, what our publications are teaching, what watchtowers. Come on, seriously, however can you put man-made literature, even if it is religious literature, how can you put religious literature against holy scriptures? You cannot do that. So that was it for me, and
Yeah.
yes, I also organized for one brother from Canada to come here to Latvia, and then he baptized us in the name of Christ.
Nice, nice. Well, that's just lovely to hear that you are um born again and you're in Christ. That's the best news. But thank you for giving your reason for escaping from the tower, because of the fact that they negate everything about Jesus Christ. I just want to thank you, John. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, and I'm sure that this video is going to encourage many people, and hopefully I can get you back on at some stage further down the track as a returning guest, and do a catch up and see how you're going. But for now,
For surely.
it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and please, like I said, give my love to your mum, Dace, and we'll talk soon. John, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you. Bye.